power, greed, legacy. The land remembers everything. The screen is dark. A heavy drumbeat fades in. Suddenly, we see oil bursting out of the ground in slow motion, black against the golden light of dawn. Text flashes on screen. From the AI creators of Yellowstone. The music grows tense, layered with the sound of fire and wind. An unseen narrator begins to speak with a calm but commanding tone. This is Texas, a place where fortunes rise as fast as they fall. A land carved by history, scarred by greed, and soaked in blood and oil. Season 2 of LANDMAN is not just a story, it is a storm, and every storm leaves its mark. The scene cuts to wide desert plains. Oil rigs twist and turn like iron giants. Against the horizon, the camera pulls back, showing the sheer scale of the land. We hear a faint echo of a gunshot, then silence, before the narrator continues. This land doesn't forgive. It doesn't forget. And those who try to own it will pay the price. The screen fills with a sweeping aerial shot of endless oil, fields, pipelines cutting across the dry land like scars. Workers move below tiny figures covered in dust, helmets glinting under the sun. The narrator's voice returns, calm yet full of weight. The fight for oil is more than business. It is survival. Men and women work these fields, breaking their bodies for a dream that may never come true. Each drop of oil pulled from the ground holds the promise of riches. And the shadow of ruin, cut to quick flashes, hands exchanging. Contracts in a boardroom, flames bursting from a flare stack. A family sitting around a dinner table in silence, tension thick in the air. The music sharpens into a low, vibrating hum. But power has two faces. Out here, wealth can build empires or destroy them overnight. One moment, you're standing on top of the world. The next, the ground beneath you gives way. The camera shifts. Luxury cars glide through the streets of Houston. A glass tower reflects the setting sun. Inside, executives shake hands, smiling, their eyes cold with calculation. Then, the screen cuts back to the harsh oil fields, mud, sweat, and danger. Season 2 takes us deeper into the cracks of this world. Behind closed doors, secrets are traded like currency. Out in the dust, lives are gambled away for a paycheck. Every man and woman here knows this land doesn't just give, it takes. The pacing quickens shots of pipelines bursting, men shouting, papers being signed, protesters clashing with security guards outside oil company gates. In the heart of Texas, nothing is clean. Not the money, not the hands that hold it, and certainly not the ground itself. The music slows. The screen fades to black for a breathless second. Then, a single flame lights up the darkness. A flare stack burning against the night sky. The narrator's voice drops, almost a whisper. Every empire built here rests on a fault line. And in Season 2, those cracks will split wide open. The sound of a ticking clock begins, loud, sharp, relentless, each tick syncing with flashing images, contracts torn apart. Cars speeding down an empty road, a storm rolling across the desert, shadows moving inside a glass tower. The land is shifting. The storm is coming. And no one will escape untouched. The ticking stops. Silence. The camera lingers on a barren stretch of land, dry soil cracking under the sun. Then faintly, the sound of oil dripping into the dirt. This is LANDMAN *. The screen opens with silence, just the sound of the Texas wind cutting across barren fields. The camera slowly drifts across broken fences, dried-out riverbeds, and rusted oil drums left to rot. A low, steady beat begins like a heartbeat. Every story begins with the land. But the land does not tell its story alone. It speaks through the people who walk it, those who take, those who fight, and those who refuse to let go. The screen flashes white, then shadows. 4 figures step forward, never showing their faces. The music swells, sharp strings dragging the tension higher. A man's hand slams a contract down onto a polished wooden table. The room is filled with smoke and the clinking of whiskey glasses. Cufflinks gleam, expensive cold. The Tycoon, a king in a kingdom of oil. But even kings bleed when the land decides their time has come. A shot of helicopters rising over oil fields there, rotors chopping the sky like blades. His shadow watches from a skyscraper window, silent and calculating, the sound of boots crunching on gravel. A dusty pickup truck speeds down an empty road at night. The headlights cut through darkness, revealing a lone figure gripping the wheel. A man who lives by no law but his own. In the fields, in the bars, in the back roads where deals are made and lives are lost, he thrives on chaos. But even chaos has its limits. Gunfire echoes. The truck disappears into the horizon. Cigarette burns out in the dirt. The screen brightens whiteboards, filled with maps, graphs, and numbers. A pair of hands trace a pipeline route, marker ink bleeding across paper. The visionary. A dreamer who sees the future, not in black gold, but in fire, sun, and wind. In a land bound by tradition, his ideas are a spark and sparks always start fires. The scene cuts to protesters holding signs. No more oil. Save the land. Their chants grow louder as police push them back. The visionary's silhouette stands behind them, motionless, unafraid. Darkness. Rain lashes against a window. Inside a small, broken-down home, a woman grips a photograph in one hand, a rifle in the other. The survivor. She has lost everything. Once before, but she will not lose again. Not her home, not her family, not the land she calls hers. Her boots sink into the mud as she walks across her field, oil pumps working endlessly behind her. Lightning cracks the sky, framing her silhouette in fire and fury. The music grows sharper, faster. The foreshadows overlap in a rapid montage, contracts torn. Fists thrown, pipelines bursting, fire raging in the night. Text flashes across the screen. Old alliances will crumble. New enemies will rise. And every choice will cost blood. The heartbeat returns. Slower this time. Each thud shakes the screen. The narrator whispers, the Tycoon, the Outlaw, the Visionary, the Survivor, for fates bound by the same land and one truth. Silence. Then a single oil drop falls in slow motion, hitting the ground with a deafening thud. The land never forgets. The screen cuts to black. Asterisk the sound of thunder. Low, rolling, endless. The screen fades in from black storm clouds crawl over the Texas sky. Dust whirls across empty roads. The music picks up, a deep pounding rhythm like war drums echoing. In the distance, every empire is built on promises. But promises break, and when they do, the ground itself begins to shake. A line of black SUVs speeds down a desert road. Inside a glass tower, men in suits trade smiles that don't reach their eyes. Papers slide across polished tables, signatures made with trembling hands. Cut to the oil fields workers screaming as flames rise. Pipelines bursting into the air. Season 2 brings the fight out of the shadows. On the streets, in the fields, and in the halls of power. War is coming. The beat grows sharper. Shots cut fast. Protesters clash with riot police, their voices drowned by sirens. A courtroom, the gavel slamming down like a gunshot. A boardroom handshake that lingers too long, dripping with betrayal. A family dinner shattered by an argument, voices raised, plates crashing. This is more than oil. This is blood. This is land. And neither will be given up without a fight. The screen flickers, static breaking between images. A barrel of oil tips over, black liquid spilling into the dirt like a wound opening. A storm tears across the horizon. Lightning splitting the sky in jagged lines. Enemies are no longer at the gates. They are inside the walls. Deals are made with one hand and broken with the other. Drums grow louder, faster. Faces remain hidden, just hands, shadows, silhouettes. A fist slams onto a desk. A rifle is loaded. A contract burns in fire. Blood and oil mix in the soil of Texas. The more you take, the deeper the land remembers. When the land remembers, it demands a price. The montage accelerates. Oil rigs exploding in fire. Through rain-soaked streets, helicopters hovering above protests, a gun dropped into the dirt, storm ripping across the plains, rattling everything in its path. The narrator's voice deepens, almost like a warning. The land is restless. The storm is here, and when it hits, no one, not the rich, not the poor, not the guilty, not the innocent will escape. The music slams into silence for a single breath. All we hear is wind, then one sound, the slow drip of oil hitting. Cracked earth. The screen cuts to text. The land takes what it is owed. Yeah, the heartbeat from earlier returns. Slow, heavy, uneasy. The screen explodes into fire. An oil rig erupts against the night sky, flames clawing upward like a beast finally unchained. The music hits hard, fast drums, piercing violins, every note crashing like thunder. This is no longer business. This is survival. The montage begins, each image striking like a flash of lightning. A luxury car races through the desert, headlights slicing the dark. Protesters locked in a standoff with riot shields, their voices raw, unbroken. A hand gripping a revolver, the barrel glinting in the firelight, helicopters circling over endless fields, shadows stretching long across the land. A child staring out a dusty window as sirens wail in the distance. The narrator's voice rises, urgent, unrelenting. Every choice has a cost. Every secret leaves a scar. And every scar leads back to the land. The screen blinks to black. A single gunshot echoes, and silence before the storm roars back louder than ever. The images rush faster now, almost too quick to hold, fists flying in a bar fight. Flames reflected in a glass skyscraper. Two hands clasping in desperate alliance, then pulling apart. Mother clutching her child as the ground shakes. Oil spilling endlessly, drowning the screen in black dot. Text slams across the darkness in bold letters. Bigger, bolder, deadlier. The narrator's voice drops low, almost a whisper like a warning carried by the wind. This is more than a battle for oil. This is a battle for the soul of Texas. The heartbeat returns. Faster, louder, building until it drowns everything else. Each thud matched by another flash of chaos, cars flipping, contracts burning, men screaming in the rain, then absolute silence. A lone shot of barren land, dust cracks in the soil. A single drop of oil falls in slow motion, splattering into the dirt. The narrator speaks one last time, voice quiet but chilling. The land never forgets. The title card slams onto the screen with a metallic crash. LANDMAN Season 2 below it. Bold words fade in against the stormy sky. Coming soon, official trailer and first look. The music ends with one final sharp note, like a blade cutting through silence. The screen fades to black. Asterisk, the screen stays black. No music, just a hollow. Wind drifting across the speakers, carrying faint echoes of voices, half whispers, half crisped, like ghosts trapped in the soil. Then, a low metallic groan breaks the silence, as if the land itself is bending under the weight of everything that has happened. The fire has burned. The storm has struck. But when the dust settles, what remains is not peace. It is the echo of war. The screen flickers. You see fragments of devastation. A once proud oil rig, now nothing but twisted steel. Streets empty, littered with broken signs from protests long over. A ranch house window cracked, a single lamp still burning inside. A gold watch half buried in mud, ticking faintly. The heartbeat returns lower now, like the pulse of something wounded but still alive. Season 2 does not end in silence. It ends with choices carved into the earth, choices that will not fade. Because out here, nothing disappears. Not the oil, not the blood, not the sins of those who came before. The montage slows, every shot deliberate, heavy with meaning. The Tycoon's shadow watching over a city skyline. The Outlaw's pickup truck abandoned on a dirt road, door still open. The visionary standing before a wall of maps, his hands shaking, survivor holding her ground, rifle in hand, her eyes fixed on the horizon. The narrator's voice lowers, almost breaking into a growl. The fight is not finished. The storm is not over. The land is waiting. It always collects its debt. The screen flashes white, then black. The text fades in slowly like carved stone. The land takes everything. A final swell of strings rises, sharp and cutting, then collapses into silence. The only sound left, oil dripping steadily, endlessly. Into the cracked dirt title card reappears, Landman Season 2 below it, first look coming soon. The screen cuts out, leaving nothing but black. Asterisk, the screen is completely black. No sound. Just silence heavy enough to make the audience lean in. Then one sharp inhale. A voice low and raw cuts through. The land never forgets. Suddenly, the silence shatters. A violent crash of thunder, a blinding flash of lightning, and the screen erupts into fragments of everything we've seen. Explosions, betrayals, storms, shadows, all flickering like broken memories. Oh, the music surges, not steady but fractured. A chaotic symphony that feels like the earth itself is roaring. And in Season 2, the land finally takes back what is hers. Images race by, each more powerful than the last. Oil pouring across a dinner table instead of wine. City skyline shaking under a brewing storm. A cowboy hat floating in a flooded ditch. A single match falling in slow motion, igniting an ocean of crude oil. The narrator's tone sharpens, like a final verdict. No empire stands forever. No secret stays buried. And no man walks away clean. The sound drops out again, sucked into a vacuum of silence. Only one sound remains. The slow, hollow creak of an oil pump moving back and forth in the distance. Like a pendulum counting down time, the screen fades to black. Then boom. The title card slams forward with a metallic echo. Landman Season 2 below it. Carved into the screen as if by fire. Official trailer and first look, a final flash of lightning burns the words into the dark. And then everything vanishes, leaving only the faint echo of the wind across the land.